It's the Odd Drunk Podcast, a very strange podcast, the drunkest show in the world. It's Jackson and Colton talking out of their ass. We don't care as long as drinks are poured. Sometimes we have our friends here. We will talk about anything. We don't care as long as we have beer. And if you let that whiskey ring. The Odd Drunk Podcast. Is it done?
I think so.
Well, welcome, welcome everybody. I'm doing a bit. Let me do it. Okay. I welcome all of you. Wait. All of our fellow compatriots of the podcast. We cordially welcome you. I am with my brother-in-arms, Colton of the West, and I. But this is going to be a very professional.
And Jackson of the Midwest.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's great. Colton of the West and Jackson of the Midwest. A little bit more specific, a little lame. But
next time,
a bit lame.
Next time you have a new class and everyone's introducing themselves, you should introduce
Jackson
yourself
of the Midwest. Or actually, I am the son of Jack of the Midwest, which is you guys would know if you listen to us for a while. My name does not mean I'm the son of Jack, but I don't want to get into that. But what I want to get into is it's our 69th episode.
Noise.
Cue the noise. 69, yeah. Cue all the really bad jokes. And honestly, we kind of thought about what should we do for our 69th episode? Because, we can get a bit rude, but we didn't want to go, quite into the actual 69 territory. I think we all know
I think it's a little
what I'm talking about.
It's just a little overdone.
It's a little much. It's overdone. It's not that funny anymore. And it's... Yeah, we don't talk about that kind of stuff.
We're calling you out. We're calling you out, Weekly Planet. You're overdoing it. 69.
I think you're thinking of a different podcast that I mentioned to you.
No, isn't the Weekly Planet doing 1969?
They already did that.
Oh, they already did that.
Well, they're doing their once a month, so they have their extra content that you pay for. And this is not a sponsor for the Weekly Planet, unless you want us to join your network, which I'll totally be down for, as long as we can still be the same old boys that we always been. But
good old drunk boys.
They have a extra podcast that they release once a month that they look at a year and look at its pop culture relevance and everything. And I almost thought about doing that as just kind of a joke of making this episode much more than it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's let's analyze the year 1969, or let's analyze the number 69, and why is it?
We thought about that, but then we settled on
nah.
Fuck it, let's take it easy this week and just fuck around a little bit.
Yeah, and speaking of fucking around, we are doing, and it's been in my episode list for the podcast since its inception. Would you rather?
Yeah,
very simple concept. We all know.
And I actually, because we'll get into what we're drinking, and we have a couple news things we should catch up on before we get into it.
Oh yeah, big stuff.
I have one kind of teaser. Would you rather for the audience?
Oh, okay. We're jumping into it.
To get us started. Would you rather share the Odd Drunk Podcast with your friends, or give us a rating on Apple Podcast if you like what you hear?
Why not both?
It's a trick question. The answer is you should do both.
Would you rather follow us on Instagram or join our Facebook group?
Trick question.
They're both owned by the same company.
Yeah.
Facebook's very toxic. I do prefer Instagram.
Yeah, realistically, probably actually just follow the Instagram.
Yeah, that's our coolest stuff.
But we're also on Facebook if you're into that.
Yeah, we have a tiny little group of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you mentioned before
less than 100, no more than 40.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's slightly growing.
You mentioned before,
but that's why you should join it.
Yeah, grow it.
No, honestly,
grow the community.
Yeah, But
You mentioned before we got started you had a special beer for tonight.
I do have a very special beer, and I think you could already see. And you know what?
I'm digging what I'm looking at here.
I am digging what I'm looking at as well.
We'll definitely have a picture on Instagram.
Yeah, this is worthy. This is definitely worthy. Let's get some good light. Or, just terrible flash. Either way, picture's a picture. That's good enough. It's a beer, Colton. It doesn't need a GQ photography session.
Yeah.
Did you see that Paul Rudd was voted sexiest man alive? Kudos.
Kudos.
You know
Good
what?
for you, Mr. Rudd.
Yeah, Mr. Benjamin Button, because he seems to be younger every year.
Beating out Ryan Reynolds. Come on.
Yeah. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. So, what beer are you drinking?
But yeah.
We're just going to say you're drinking a beer. And
I am drinking a very fun beer. That's it. No. I'm drinking the Sweetwater Brewing Company's Extra Pale Ale 420. Root 420. I don't establish 420. Either way, it has 420 on it. And as we all know, 69's best companion number is 420.
Yeah, 420 is the other cool number.
Like Xbox gamer tag example, MLG Swag Master 69 420 XX.
Yeah, of course. That's
FaZe Clan, of course.
Any Halo Pro would definitely have both 69 and 420 in their gamer tag.
And you know what? I remember last...
I'm an Xbox player, so I would know.
I remember the last April 20th, we failed to do the 420 episode. But you know what?
We had the idea of getting super stoned and not going into the episode with any particular topic and just getting super stoned and seeing what happened. But we didn't do it.
If we ever make it that far, I promise on our 420th episode... I will either bring this beer back, or
you'll completely forget,
or I'll completely
have a
forget.
different beer.
Probably that. If we are still around and doing this at that point, which is like years ahead of time.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've always thought about it. I don't necessarily want to stop, even if we do it a little bit every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because we have Zoom. I mean, even if we go off, we go off and we. Whatever they call
the Odd Drunk
whatever
podcast will continue.
It's immortal
in some form.
It's immortal. But go off and sow our oats.
Yeah,
even
if it turns into something where it's not once a week anymore.
Yeah,
the Odd Drunk will continue.
But we can't promise that because who knows what the future brings, and I don't want to get depressing.
we got you got a cool beer here.
But maybe on our 420 episode, I drink a beer that has 69 on it.
Oh, that would be cool.
Complete the cycle, and then we can end it. We can burn everything.
Then we stop recording right then as soon as
as soon as
you take your first sip, and we delete absolutely everything.
It's like that was a good run, boys.
I'm not drinking anything special tonight. I'm just drinking some whiskey and some Sprite. But I don't think I've actually ever talked about the whiskey I drink too much on the podcast.
Not in detail.
I think I've mentioned it, and I've had different whiskeys, but my go-to whiskey, so if I ever say I'm drinking whiskey on the podcast, it's likely this one. It's Four Roses. It's a bourbon, and it's not their fancy bottle. It's just their cheaper bottle. But for a whiskey to make drinks with, like mixed with soda and stuff, it's pretty good.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
it's much better than Jack Daniel's. God. Jack Daniel's isn't even bourbon.
Ooh, I mean,
like it literally isn't bourbon. They're able to get around it by calling it Kentucky whiskey.
Oh, I see.
And bourbon is synonymous with Kentucky whiskey, but Jack Daniel's isn't really bourbon. It's just Kentucky, a whiskey made in Kentucky. Yeah, and it's nasty. Jack Daniel's is nasty. Evan Williams is better. If you want if you want a whiskey in the same price range as Jack Daniel's, drink Evan Williams.
But anyways, before we get into our topic, do you want to talk about some news? We
haven't caught up on some of this news recently.
Well, honestly, mostly about one thing, and I feel like it would be a crime if we didn't talk about it because we did basically dedicate a whole episode to it.
Yeah.
Kind of. The new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer released, and
it got me so hyped.
It's good stuff. Good soup.
Good soup.
Just to quickly go through, I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, anyone listening, you've seen it, everything about it. But get more of Doc Ock. He gets more lines. He says, "You're not Peter Parker," and that gives hope.
Yeah, some people think that maybe he's not going to be 100% evil the whole time.
Well, I think
which could be interesting.
A theory is, well, in the trailer it shows his arms like absorbing the nanotechnology and like adding on to it, and maybe that frees his mind, like he gets control again after that, and then he decides to help round up the villains or whatever.
That'd be cool. I'd like to see that.
And also, we get character actor Willem Dafoe back.
Yeah,
he gets a cool line in it. He says something along the lines of, "You're trying to make the perfect world, but it's making you. It's giving you a choice," and it's very much this. He's the same exact character.
I saw
in the same design and everything.
I saw something. I think it was like an interview with like Tom Holland, because I saw like Willem Dafoe was like wearing a cloak around set to like hide himself.
Yeah,
and Tom Holland said in an interview like the other day where he was like, the villains were walking around with cloaks, and he bumped into Willem Dafoe, and he turns around, it's Willem Dafoe, and he's like, ah.
That's great. And you do briefly see a design of him with like the goggles on, and more. It kind of looks more
a little bit more classic Goblin with the straps and stuff.
Yeah,
but
bandoliers,
but
and
no helmet, and
Well,
we don't know if he'll be.
Some people
helmet,
think maybe Doc Ock actually helped Spider-Man fight Green Goblin. He fucks him up good, and then that's why he looks that way.
Makes sense.
Or I don't know.
Yeah,
or maybe Doc Ock just.
But we got. I mean, we've known that Doc Ock and Green Goblin were going to be in this. We got confirmation now
of Electro,
Sandman, and Lizard.
And the Lizard.
Yeah.
That makes the Sinister Five. I already told you this earlier. I think it'd be great if they completed it by revealing Mr. Dikovich.
No rent, no home.
Rent? And, they don't even have to actually get the actor back. They can just, like, Photoshop him in, like, all this bad YouTube.
Yeah. just like, clips from Spider-Man.
You know what? 3. Maybe the sixth villain, maybe it's, like, New Goblin. And we're like, what? Why would they add him? But then the mask comes undone. And it's Dikovich.
Yes. Rent? It makes sense, though, because Tom Holland, I bet his Spider-Man's starting to get to the age where he's thinking about getting his own apartment. He's almost done with high school, probably.
So Mr. Dikovich, he would want to jump on that.
Yeah, he's trying to.
Might as well get rent money from the other ones too.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of the other ones, the other Spider-Men, they're not in it, and I'm glad they're not in it. I'm glad they're not in the trailer because we know they're gonna be in it.
Yeah.
At this point, if they're not in it, people are gonna freak out.
The Weekly Planet did for Caravan of Garbage talked about the trailer a bit on YouTube, and they had in the Spider-Man text with music come up, Andrew Garfield is a liar.
Yeah.
Because Andrew Garfield keeps saying he's not in the movie.
Well, he keeps kind of dancing around the question.
Yeah.
Like he always ends up saying, I love what Tom Holland's done with the character, and
or he'll say I didn't get a call,
but he could have got an email.
Yeah,
but he's in it.
Yeah,
they already leaked the footage.
He's a goddamn liar.
And that footage of him, this guy said that he deep faked it. But then Corridor Digital was like,
Corridor.
They tested it and they went through and
they said like,
no, he did
if
not.
that's a deep fake, it's the best.
It's
fucking
the best
deep
I've
fake
ever
we've
seen. Yeah,
and
that's
and that's saying a lot.
The set he's on lines up with the final scene on the scaffolding.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot. The couple of the guys that work with Corridor have worked on like what is now the premier top of the line deepfake technology. Right. Like, Corridor, they're not just some YouTube guys; they're actually guys in the industry.
That whole video that guy posted that, I trolled the internet and here's how I did it. It's full of just errors of his process. Like he never explains it. But anyways, but also the Brazilian version of the trailer, which made a major goof. It's a little bit longer. It's a few seconds longer. Yeah. And what they failed to edit out is Lizard getting punched or kicked by something.
Yeah, but
maybe John Cena. Maybe here, let's go through real quick. Okay, maybe it's Doc Ock. Maybe they just want to hide that he ends up being good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's reasonable. But I don't think
buy
they would hide that.
Yeah.
I don't think they would worry too much about hiding that.
I think they would hide it, but I think it's unlikely in that sense.
Well, I think Sony wouldn't really care. I mean, I heard Sony wanted to
yeah,
show.
apparently Sony wanted to show Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and Marvel didn't. And so technically Sony's the one that's publishing the movie.
Yeah.
So it's up to them what they put in the trailers, but they
But-
are working with
so he's
Marvel,
getting
though. They're
punched,
listening to them.
And you don't need to see that extra few seconds of him getting punched. It is funny looking. To realize, wait, he's going in a completely different direction, gearing up for battle.
yeah, they're not all jumping
They're
at
not jumping
Tom
at Tom
Holland.
They're all going.
They're all jumping in the same
like
direction of him. But
Sandman's going in the middle. Electro's kind of going to the upper right, in
Yeah.
the air.
I think
Lizard's
it's
down the bottom.
probably-
I think it's the 3 versus the 3.
Yeah,
right?
it makes sense.
And maybe it's Andrew's Spider-Man kicking him in the face because they fought each other, or maybe it's Toby's because some people are like he's more of a brawler.
yeah,
So I don't know.
maybe. Oh, well,
But-
we'll see.
And also, there's
the other-
been other goofs people have been finding of like they see like just a floating Spider-Man arm in like one frame.
I saw that one. That one's a little blurry.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure
But
that's what it is.
also, they say that there's a part of the trailer where he and I can show you later, where he clearly, because it would be hard to find, but he clearly has like the Raimi mask on, the Toby mask, or maybe
Oh.
the Andrew Garfield one, but like the eyes and the mask does not line up with Tom Holland's suit,
Huh.
but he has like the Tom Holland skin on the rest of him. So some people say,
Whoopsies.
and this could totally be possible knowing Marvel, because the Infinity War trailer, for instance, they had Hulk in the final battle of Wakanda. That never happened.
I guarantee Marvel's lying to us.
Well, I think they could have gone
about
as
stuff.
I think they could have gone as far as reskinning like a certain Spider-Man in a certain shot that they want to show as
to
the Tom
make
Holland
us
one.
think Tom Holland's in that scene and it's not him actually.
Yeah. And there's also a shot of Tom Holland and he looks like he has Andrew Garfield's hair and he looks a bit taller.
Yeah.
That they could have I don't think they would go that far, but I think his hair just got messy.
The point is
Or
that
maybe
Andrew,
maybe he met Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. He was like, "Oh, cool hair."
maybe because Andrew Garfield does have very cool hair. He's the coolest Peter Parker.
But
Um,
honestly, and I've heard rumors about their screen time of Toby and Andrew potentially being like at least 30 minutes.
that'd be
Which is
pretty
a
damn
good
cool.
portion of the
Yeah,
movie.
that's a good.
I mean, it's
chunk.
almost a 3-hour movie though. So it won't be
Wow.
till the final
It's a
battle.
long
pro-
movie. Yeah.
I figured all I want, and this is assuming they're going to be in it. If they're not in it, I'm still really excited to see the villains return. But it wouldn't make much sense for them to return.
I was
And like
talking,
they even talked about, oh, they all died fighting Spider-Man. Like,
I was
can't.
at the bar talking to my sister, and she's been out of the loop on a lot of trailers and new
Right,
movies
yeah.
coming out.
because she was
She's
abroad.
she's been abroad.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her, I was telling her about Willem Dafoe in the new Spider-Man, and she said, and I agreed with her, I don't really care if it's going to be a good movie or not. If Willem Dafoe,
Right. I know what you
they
mean.
got Willem Dafoe and they got Doc Ock.
It doesn't have to be
and
well written.
They bring in another Spider-Man.
yeah.
It's just going to be a fun time.
It's yeah. When I've heard like John Watts, the director, describe it as like the Spider-Man Endgame.
Mhm.
Like this is the finale to Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah. It sounds like this
Like
is
we don't know where.
this is probably the biggest movie in Phase 4 so far. At least.
yeah, and
Yeah.
but yeah, all I care about if they come in like an epic moment, the final battle. Let's say Tom Holland's getting beaten
Yeah.
by like Sandman, Electro, or whatever.
And the Japanese Spider-Man comes in.
Yes, he comes in through a portal in his
Megazord.
mech.
In his Megazord.
And he fights
yeah.
Sandman with the
Oh,
sword.
That would be the
actually,
coolest shit. I would.
What if it is other Spider-Man that show?
I
What if
would-
it actually is
That would be cool.
just other Spider-Man, but not Tobey and Andrew?
that would be pretty funny.
It would be funny, but it'd
I'd
be like the
appre- I would-
biggest troll.
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad.
Or what if it looks like Tobey Spider-Man, like the suit, but he takes the mask off? Oh, I'm a variant version of him.
Or
I'm
takes the mask-
I'm Jake Gyllenhaal.
He takes off the mask and it's Ryan Reynolds.
It's I love that.
It's Chris Pratt
It's
because he's in everything. Now.
yeah. Well, he's just the voice of.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Toby, but Chris Pratt did the voice.
Toby. Even with his mask off, it's just Chris Pratt doing the voiceover.
Yeah. Not even, he just
Not even
woke
like
up.
a good voiceover.
No, he's just phoning it in.
Yeah.
And it doesn't match his lips.
No,
But what I
it's-
imagine,
yeah.
well, in the scene where he's MJ's falling, Zendaya, and I think he's gonna fail to catch her, but then the last second,
Yeah.
maybe Andrew
That would be
swoops
super
in.
cool. Redeem himself from failing to save Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, he really dorked Gwen Stacy in that.
Yeah.
But
dorked it.
and I also I would love to have a moment. They could do that as like the first entrance, maybe, of a different Spider-Man, or maybe they're already there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're in like the whole movie, and they've just been edited out of everything.
Maybe.
But I would love for like it to be like really bad. The villains are beating the shit out of Tom, and then you hear the original, not Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman music. The original Spider-Man music.
Oh.
Dun-dun-dun. You hear that. And then, like, he comes in, he kicks Lizard in the head or whatever. He's like, and then do the Bully Maguire thing. Please.
Like, you gonna cry?
Do a little bit. Please they gotta reference some Bully Maguire. And they gotta do the pointing thing.
Oh,
If they're in it, they gotta go all out with it.
Sony's very much aware of the memes.
Yeah.
We know that from Into the Spider-Verse.
All I want, if I could get a line from Toby, like, during the battle, like he's fighting Lizard or whatever, he's like, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. or like Tom Holland, it's after the battle. Tom Holland's like upset, maybe someone died, and then just like Toby is like not the nice, wholesome version that we're used to, but Bully Maguire, full on Bully Maguire. He's just like, I missed the part where that's my problem. He just fucks off. Any other ideas on that?
There's another news thing I kind of want to touch on.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, I do have, because it's
I have a
relevant,
would you rather related.
I have a would you rather related to Spider-Man.
Oh, you go first, because mine I just
this
came
one
up with.
I found online. I looked up Marvel would you rather questions, and this was one of them. Would you rather eat a hot dog with mayonnaise or ketchup?
How's it?
Spider-Man
Oh yeah,
eating the hot dog.
he eats the hot dog. It's a tofu hot dog, by the way.
Oh yeah.
It's not a monster. Really, neither. If I had, but whew,
you
might think it's heresy, but I would pick ketchup over mayonnaise. Mayonnaise by itself on a hot dog, no. But mayonnaise and mustard, that's actually really good.
it's a really hard
Compliments.
choice.
I wouldn't do mayonnaise. Come on, that's
Mayonnaise on
mayonnaise by
on a hot
itself
dog
on
sounds
anything.
mayonnaise by itself on a hot dog sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
But I think I just have to.
I know you're
out
so
of principle-
adverse to ketchup on hot dog.
Out of principle, I have to refuse the ketchup. But mayonnaise sounds disgusting, just by itself.
So you rather eat something that's more disgusting,
Out of
but
principle.
doesn't go against your,
yeah,
your belief system, essentially your hot dog, ideology.
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
But does it say how much has to be on it?
Nope.
I mean, I assume at
I
least
assume your
one streak across.
Your typical, just you squirt it across like that.
Yeah, ketchup's fine on it, I think.
It's not even that like I hate ketchup, but out of principle, I will not put it on a hot dog.
Ketchup and mustard, though, that's classic. That's like American baseball park.
I'll eat it.
I think
if
that's
someone
a
gives
good-
it to me. You will never catch me putting ketchup on a hot dog myself. Ever.
One day
I don't care if it's with
You're
mustard.
going to be in the middle of eating a hot dog, maybe with some nice Dijon mustard or something, and then I'm just going to squirt some ketchup on there.
Grape pun.
I'm just gonna squirt some Heinz 57 on there while you're not looking.
I mean, I've had hot dogs with ketchup. I don't actually think it's that bad, but it's just the principle. You're not supposed to put ketchup on hot
Right.
dogs.
Put ketchup on burgers.
Put ketchup on burgers, yes.
But
absolutely.
ideally, I like doing the trio: mustard, mayonnaise, and ketchup.
I'm a mustard guy. I will take mayonnaise.
I like a little mayonnaise on burgers.
If mayonnaise is part of like the style of hot dog you're eating.
We're back to hot dogs and no mayonnaise.
Well, no, there's some style of hot dogs where they put mayonnaise on it, and if that's the style, I'll eat it.
Well, yeah, because you
but
got
ketchup is where I draw the line.
But anyways, enough condiment talk and hot dog talk. I have a would you rather that's more.
Yeah. Okay.
So I kind of thought about it after thinking about, okay, we're going to talk about trailer a little bit. Would you rather die like Green Goblin did? So glider to the balls.
Yeah.
Or die like Dr. Octopus died. Drowning with a sun.
Glider to the balls.
You rather have that?
Yeah. Drowning.
I don't think that'd be a quick.
I've heard drowning is like a pretty fucking awful way to go, and you have a son.
You do have a son. What would kill you first, the drowning or solar radiation?
Well, solar. If it didn't kill him while he was like.
Well, he had the goggles on, Colton.
Yeah. Imagine the drowning would probably kill you first. I've heard that's an awful way to go. Well, not like I know for sure. I don't know anyone personally who has died from drowning that's been able to tell me what it was like.
Right, because they're dead.
Yeah.
I
I also don't personally know anyone who's died from drowning. That's a dark subject. Let's move on.
But here's my I'm picking Dr. Octopus's death. I know the sun is there, but I feel like that's not as much of a factor. Unless, like, maybe it pulls some debris and then it hits him while he's drowning.
Maybe he didn't actually die from drowning.
Maybe he just swam
got
away.
hit in the head real hard.
Or maybe after that shot, unbeknownst to the viewers, Peter swam in and just kicked him in the nuts or something. Like the monster he is. I'm surprised he didn't try to save him.
Tom Maguire would do that.
Going back to the trailer just for a second, it's interesting that Tom Holland wants to actually save the villains.
Yeah, that's what it
from
seems
their
like.
death.
It seems like
so
Doctor
far.
Strange. The conflict between Peter and Doctor Strange is that Doctor Strange says they need to go. They're a threat, and Peter says no, because they're going to die, and I want to save them. Which is,
but maybe when he meets the other
cool,
Spider-Man, they'll explain why they died. Like, I didn't directly impale Green Goblin in the balls.
They all killed themselves.
Yeah, he killed himself. And Doc Ock actually sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
And I think he will do something similar because there's a shot in the trailer where he gets shot by Electro.
And it's also another interesting thing is
by a lightning bolt.
Sandman.
Oh, and I love Electro's look, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Didn't die
with
fighting
the star.
Oh, yeah.
More classic
He
looking.
looks a lot
Jamie
better
Foxx.
than he did, yeah. And I like Jamie Foxx
And it's
a lot.
yellow lightning.
Yeah, I like Jamie Foxx a lot. I just didn't like how they did
that
the
character.
design.
Well, in his normal human version, was it like
it was a little
really
weird.
bad?
Yeah,
stereotypical nerd.
But I'm also interested to see how they'll do Sandman because, like, Sandman, he didn't die at the hands of Spider-Man. He left on good terms.
My only theory is maybe he was pulled out after Black when he was in when Spider-Man did the water to him. It's a good riddance when he was in black suit. Maybe he was pulled out after that.
That would make sense.
But he still didn't die from that.
He'd be pretty pissed.
But he'd be pissed though.
Yeah.
And maybe Lizard's just in for the fun. He seems like that kind of guy.
Dr. Cotters.
Yeah. He's just in for, he wants to turn everyone into a lizard.
Yeah. What yeah. What was your would you rather question?
I already asked it. Would you rather die like the Green Goblin or Doc Ock?
We did. Yeah.
But I have another one. Would you rather and this involves one actor, essentially.
Yeah, okay.
Would you rather be stuck in the lighthouse with Willem Dafoe and the events of the film take place, or just get absolutely trounced by the Green Goblin in a cemetery? Pumpkin bombs and all. So would you rather be a slow, insane build up to your death, but you get to drink with them and stuff?
I get to drink kerosene with them?
You do get to have those great moments. And then getting trounced by the Green Goblin will be really painful and bad, but it's quick, relatively. And he'll give you a big villain speech. He'll be like, one day some maniac might give you a choice. And you'll be like, what the fuck?
Like, I'm just a guy.
I'm just a guy. I'm not
Spider. Leave me alone.
Maybe you're wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt and that's why he just shows up and just
maybe
wrecks your shit.
That's a hard one.
So
and it's guaranteed that the events of the film will play out the same because, like, I probably wouldn't deny enjoying his lobster.
Oh, you want it?
Yeah,
So,
no. He cooks his lobster, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm fond of your lobster.
So maybe you think you could steer the film in a different direction.
Yeah, so he wouldn't do the whole Hark speech.
But you would still die. I figure.
Probably.
Maybe just from your own undoing.
Yeah.
Just fall down a big pile of rocks on the beach.
I don't know, but I don't know, but the Green Goblin one sounds quicker.
Yeah, it is quick.
Maybe Green Goblin because it like that just sounds like quicker. Like,
so you rather get trounced by the Green Goblin?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Same. Yeah. I as much as I like that movie, I wouldn't want to be in that movie.
The other piece of news that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
That we haven't mentioned before on the show. So recently, like within the last month, there was released a teaser for Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reminded of this because when I was at
like it's mostly a Batman movie.
Yeah, when I was at the bar with my sister and I was telling her about Spider-Man, she's like, "That sounds awesome." And then I go, "Oh yeah, also they did a trailer for a Flashpoint movie and they teased Michael Keaton Batman," and she was like, "What?"
And you know what's great about that, which I'm excited. DC just went ahead and announced that a long time ago. They didn't try to hide it.
No, yeah.
I mean, that really is the equivalent of Marvel just being like, yeah, Toby's back as Spider-Man.
Yeah, DC doesn't.
It's fine.
Yeah, they're handling it differently. They're not so worried about like keeping all the secrets.
Yeah. Really, they need that hype.
They need the hype, yeah. And it's working. I'm pretty damn hyped.
No, I'm hyped for Flashpoint and the Batman.
Oh, yeah.
With Robert
awesome.
Bat.
Robert Bat.
It honestly looks great, and I love the Batmobile. I love that it's a car. Again,
Yeah.
And it looks...
You got the Lego set, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And it looks like a unique... looks like a good take.
You need to get the classic Batmobile.
I do. Complete
because you have
trifecta.
the Tumbler and the new one.
Yeah.
And I have the classic 1966 Batmobile.
See, I wanted the classic, but you got it first, and I was like, oh, I don't want to copy it.
But now you need it, though, because you got to complete the set.
Right.
So it doesn't matter that I
also
have
this
one.
420 Pale Ale is not bad.
Nice.
Not special, not offensive.
Anyway, though, when Spider-Man comes out, we'll probably do an episode talking about it.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's inevitable. Well, we already ranked them worst to best, the Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
But my idea, we do our No Way Home review, and woo, hopefully we'll... I mean, if it sucks, we'll tell you. But
yeah,
we'll do the review, and then we'll go in. And my idea is instead of doing worst to best, because we already done that, and we would only be adding one, do a proper tier list so we can just lump the good ones together instead of trying to decide.
That's a good point. Maybe we can throw in some other Spider-Man media as well.
Yeah, it could be like the
throw
ultimate.
in the Japanese Spider-Man.
Throw
in the
bad
cartoon,
70s, and then
the 60s cartoon,
the 60s cartoon, the Spider-Man's Amazing Friends, all that stuff. But anyways, enough about all that. There probably was another piece of news I wanted to. Oh yeah, the Disney Plus reveals.
Oh yeah,
the Hawkeye footage looks great. Moon Knight, I'm excited for that. She-Hulk.
I'm mostly excited for Moon Knight.
Yeah,
that looks
Oscar
awesome.
Isaac. He's one of my favorite actors.
I love that. Yeah,
he's gonna do great.
The other stuff looks cool though.
So I have some would you rather questions.
Okay, yeah. I say we just take turns going back and forth with some would you rather.
Unfortunately, it's 49 questions, not 69.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
I have less than that, but I have a bunch more pulled up online that I can just reference.
69 is just a number.
Like this one right here. I don't think we need to answer this, but I just thought this was
yours actually has like multiple
I thought this was just such a burn on golf. Would you rather only ever be able to watch golf on TV or watch weather reports on TV? That's such a burn on golf from gotoquiz.com.
That's a burn on weather reports. I think sometimes those can be more entertaining.
I know some people who like watching golf. I don't know anyone who legitimately finds weather reports entertaining.
Depends who's reporting it.
True.
Have you seen Brick Tamlin?
Brick Tamlin he's one of the best.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I think one of my favorite.
That one, Bruce Almighty.
That's
I know that.
That's how the cookie
actually,
crumbles.
Have you exactly? Have you seen all the weather report bloopers? Good stuff.
Oh, I've seen some. Yeah, there's some good
but
stuff.
there's good golf bloopers too.
Do you remember before memes when guys just used to stand around in circles and quote Anchorman?
Yeah, that was the
that
memes
really
before
escalated
memes.
fast.
Quickly. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay. Well, you go first. Yes.
I did think about talking about memes, but I have a fun list. 49 gross would you rather questions. Warning: this list is not for the faint of heart. Turn back now if you are squeamish or have just had your lunch. Otherwise, if you're looking for the grossest list of would you rather questions, and I quickly stopped doing that voice.
So yeah, if you're squeamish, go listen to one of our other episodes. Instead.
And well, actually, I mean, do that. Please listen to other episodes, better ones. But if you're still here, I just want you to know that I've looked through this, and it's not bad at all.
When I was
this is like
when
your
I was
grandma's.
looking for questions online, I was very disappointed by the internet's options from a quick Google search of would
Well, like the not for safe work ones are probably hidden, and also I think we don't need to rely on that. I think we can have more fun with the somewhat cringy ones. But anyways,
yeah, you go first though.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to do the first one just to set a baseline for these kinds of questions.
Okay.
So, would you rather go without shampoo for the rest of your life or toothpaste for the rest of your life? I know my answer.
I'd rather go without toothpaste because
Interesting.
I
rather go without shampoo.
Well, because it doesn't say I don't have to go without mouthwash.
True, but
and I can still brush my teeth just without toothpaste. And the brushing of it is what does the most cleaning. And if you brush it and then you do mouthwash, you get a pretty much similar effect to just brushing with toothpaste.
I see your logic there.
Yeah. But I'm not going to put toothpaste in my hair to clean that. And
well, you could use some body wash as shampoo, but I don't think
that's probably not great for your hair.
It's not good.
But also, you don't like need to wash your hair.
That's my argument. Well, you don't need to wash your hair at all. Technically, you could just keep it shaven.
True.
And then you get to brush your teeth.
You could also pull out all your teeth.
And
just drink beer.
But you need to take care of your teeth. That's something that could actually kill you if you get a bad infection or something.
Yeah.
And it can be really painful.
Well, if it was modified to say I couldn't have mouthwash even, then I would say I would get rid of it.
But yeah, it is.
But I would
a bit vague.
Brush my teeth without the toothpaste and then mouthwash and flossing and stuff. You can still take care of your teeth. Yeah.
I'm still going to go with my answer.
Okay.
Because it was my gut instinct. But now that you explained it, I feel like my answer is not as valid.
No. Your answer is valid.
You got one?
I got a question.
All right,
I came up with this one.
Ooh.
I went through some of our old episodes and I came up with questions based off of
I do have another
episodes. One. Would you rather be hunted by a pack of velociraptors or by a T-Rex?
A single T-Rex versus a pack of velociraptors.
Yeah. Which one is one? One of them is going to try to be killing you. Actively.
If I want to die faster, I'd probably pick the velociraptors.
Yeah.
But T-Rexes actually can move fast.
Well,
given how big they are, they can make big strides. But I feel like a T-Rex, I can survive a lot longer. Hide.
And this is like no rules on it's just like your everyday life. You have everything you have access to in your everyday life. You're not like in the middle of a jungle type of thing. But there is actively a pack of velociraptors trying to attack you or kill you, or there's actively a T-Rex out there trying to get you. But you're not like in the middle of the wilderness.
I mean, I guess if I could like jump in my car, and try to get away. I feel like it's inevitable that they're always going to be hunting me.
Yeah, they're always going to be hunting you.
unless I eliminate them.
This is like the age-old dilemma of like if you had a snail that could kill you upon touching you, but it never stops trying to get you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. You either have a pack of velociraptors out there that's trying
big is
to
the
kill
pack?
you. Your average, I'd say 4, maybe. I don't know how
4 to 6.
4 to 6. I don't know how large a pack of velociraptors would be.
And also, real life velociraptors are actually really small.
I'm talking real life velociraptors, not Jurassic Park ones.
They're about 2 to 3 feet.
I'm talking real ones.
Yeah.
So there's either,
which is almost more terrifying.
Yeah. So I'm talking like either a pack of velociraptors that's out there somewhere that's going to try to kill you, or a T-Rex out there that's going to try to kill you. I think I would go with the velociraptors.
I'm gonna go T-Rex.
All right, why?
Because it's inevitable that I'm always gonna be hunted.
Yeah.
And I could get away from the T-Rex for a while, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume it would draw attention to itself.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
If it just spawned into a city.
I changed my mind and I agree with you. T-Rex. Because the T-Rex, when I'm sleeping, I'd be more likely to wake up in time if there was a T-Rex coming.
Well, I'm not picking
'Cause
it
they're
really
pretty
for
obvious.
survivability, though.
Yeah.
I want to go for, I know I'm eventually going to get got, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I picked T-Rex, yeah, I could get away whip it for a while, but then
one big bite.
it'd be a big bite or a big stomp.
Big stomp, big bite. Velociraptors would chew you apart.
Well, they would shred you up. They would eviscerate you.
Yeah.
And there would be a dozen of them on you, crawling up on you because they're small enough to do that in real life. And it would be overwhelming. It would be terrifying. T-Rex would also be terrifying, but at least it's one thing.
Yeah.
Because the Velociraptors pack, they're smart enough where some of them might split off in a different direction and then come flank you,
Yeah.
And I don't want that. And I'd rather get just chomped by a T-Rex once
just one
than
big
chomped multiple times by multiple Velociraptors.
That makes sense, yeah.
I just kind of came up with this.
Okay.
Would you rather? Well, I'm going to go with this. The first option's 2 on the nose. Would you rather stick your face into a box of broken glass? Just right in there.
Just
a deep box.
Like a deep box of broken glass, like I just go head back and slam my face into it.
Eyes open, mouth open, everything.
Slam my face. Okay, yeah.
Which would most likely, if not kill you, would mortally scar you and wound you. And probably blind you, considering your eyes are open.
It'd be bad. Yeah.
It'd be really bad.
Yeah.
Or would you rather watch Cats in its entirety again by yourself?
Oh, I'd rather slam my face
by
into...
yourself. No drink, nothing. Just you and Cats.
No,
the movie.
I would rather slam my face into a box of broken glass. Because Cats was scarring.
Yeah, that was emotionally scarring.
And that's saying a lot because we were able to sit there drinking together, shitting on it to try to distract ourselves.
Yeah.
If I was stuck in a room with nothing but me and the movie Cats.
That was the longest, most cringy movie I've ever seen.
It was pretty. No,
it wasn't even that long technically, but it felt long.
Pretty damn
I don't
bad.
remember any of the songs. All I remember is James Corden playing a big fat cat. Because we don't use that word.
Big kitty cat.
Even though we used it last week. And I'm sorry about the episode quality last week.
Yeah. We don't know what happened. There were some issues with our recording stuff.
But this one should be great, right?
Should be good. Okay, so I got one here. Would you rather? And in this scenario...
And yeah, by the way, just to clarify, I would rather stick my face into a box of broken glass.
So this would rather is a scenario where you're only allowed to drink one thing for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Would you
Assuming
rather?
it's alcohol related.
Yeah, alcohol.
Okay.
You only allowed to have one alcoholic thing for the rest of your life. Would you rather only be allowed to drink White Claw for the rest of your life, or only allowed to drink Skull vodka for the rest of your life?
I'll pick the vodka.
It's a hard one.
I'll pick Skull.
I think I'll pick
the
Skull.
reasoning is
but...
mix it.
Yeah.
Make screwdrivers. I mean, vodka, I mean, you could really...
They'd be
mix that
bad
in
screwdrivers.
It'd be bad, but White Claw, you're not going to mix that with anything.
No, probably not.
I mean,
sure
you could
but-
theoretically make a mimosa out of it.
Yeah.
But I hate how those make me feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something... It makes me feel even more bloated and, like, just horrible than regular beer. I don't know why. I guess because it's just the carbonated water. It doesn't have anything else to it, really. There's slight flavor.
I like some seltzers.
I like some seltzers.
But White Claw's
to
not one
only
that I
drink
like.
that...
Yeah.
To only drink seltzers, especially White Claw. Yeah, I feel like with the vodka, it would get old, but there would be more versatility. And
Yeah.
it would get me drunk faster, so I would quickly forget that I'm even drinking bad vodka.
Yeah, and I think the only downside to Skull is that it's really bad vodka. But that's freshman year vodka.
I really love this question. Would you rather be the ugliest person in the world or smell the worst? Honestly, I would I would pick the ugly one. It would suck. It would really suck, but no one sees us on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, no one would know. You would know, and you would probably hate it.
I think
but
I would pick.
you would really hate it if I smelled the worst, though.
Yeah, I think I'd pick ugly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's tough, but smelling the worst, and that's very ill-defined. You know, you might smell good to someone, though. But this just says you smell the worst.
I think it's implied you smell bad, like universally.
Yeah, universally.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to stand myself if I smelled like that all the time. The ugly thing, you know, I could cover it up. I wouldn't have any mirrors in my house or whatever. I don't go to that many social events anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't either. This is
Yeah,
social.
ugly
This
one.
is a social event for me.
exactly.
Okay. Would you rather have to fight Freddy or Jason?
So one's a mind fight and one's just a real... I would pick Freddy because the teens in those movies, the ones that get wise about it, have a better chance because they can just like be like, I'm not scared of you, Freddy, or
Yeah.
do that kind of thing. Bring him in the real world.
I was going to say, on
Hit
the
him
other
with a-
hand, I would prefer to fight Jason,
Which Jason?
any of them, because they're all going to kill me. Freddy's probably going to kill me too.
So you're under the
But-
assumption you're gonna get killed.
I'm just
anyways.
assuming I'm going to die. And Freddy likes to play with his victims.
True, but Freddy's fun.
Freddy is fun, but Jason doesn't play. He just kills you and it's over.
And it could be quick sometimes. maybe.
Hopefully, yeah. I think I'd pick.
But that's
Jason.
if you don't fight back.
I think I'd pick Jason and hope that he makes it quick.
Right.
Versus Freddy, who's gonna play with me.
I still think generally, I mean, if you know about Freddy, and I'm going to get meta here. I've seen the movies. So, like, if he came into the real world, I would know how to beat him.
Yeah.
Jason, I feel like it wouldn't really matter because he's just a tank.
Yeah, yeah.
And now, if we're going for human Jason, I would pick him. But he's not the popular version.
No. I'm
So-
assuming the version from Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, okay. Then,
Probably that version.
man, that's hard, but I would have to go with Freddy just because I feel like there's a little bit more wiggle room there. Jason, I feel like you can keep running. And also, with Freddy, you can stay up a while.
Yeah.
So you can avoid him a lot, Jason, he's just going to be on your tail the whole time.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a better list here, by the way. I moved to a different list because mine was just so lame. This kind of goes back to the hot dog condiment one. Would you rather drink a gallon of mayonnaise or a gallon of ketchup?
Gallon of ketchup.
That's horrible, by the way. Both of those options.
Yeah, they sound both horrible. Gallon of ketchup.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards
because
the
of the
ketchup.
dairy and the mayonnaise.
The dairy, the egg,
yeah,
and
that
ketchup. At least it's kind of like tomato sauce.
Yeah,
but
it'd
sweet
be
and just bad and acidic. Be really bad.
It's sugary as fuck, but
yeah, and very acidic,
yeah.
and it would be bad. But mayonnaise, I would literally gag.
Both of them would be awful.
Honestly, mayonnaise, I would just look at the bucket of it or whatever.
Both of them would probably make me start throwing up.
Yeah,
because the mayonnaise with the dairy and the egg, and with the ketchup, I have acid reflux problems.
Okay, so there's another question here, but I'm going to modify it for our podcast.
Okay, cool.
So would you rather lick Danny DeVito's big toe? Just one lick.
Okay.
Maybe after he got done filming Always Sunny.
Okay.
So he's been on his feet for a while. Or at any point in time, completely at random, Danny DeVito busts out of your couch.
This is the second one.
So you wouldn't rather just get it over with?
No, I think that would be great to have just
He's
a random
nude,
point.
fully nude.
Yeah, no, I think that would be great.
You could be sitting on your couch playing video games or doing homework or
cooking.
But
the chance that it happens in the middle of a party would be amazing.
Just constantly be having parties.
Yeah,
and hope
that it happens.
Hope that you're on the sidelines when it happens.
Yeah, just suddenly burst out of the couch, covered in sweat.
And they're both one-time things.
Yeah, no.
And, you could argue that they're both equally as gross.
I would definitely want him to burst out of the couch, though. That'd be great. I have a question.
Yeah,
related.
His toe.
This is the last question I came up with that's related to the show.
Okay.
Who would you rather plan your next vacation? Borat or Charlie?
Charlie. I feel like Charlie would involve something under the bridge, maybe an alleyway of cats. I assume he would give me a tour of Philadelphia, but it would be his.
Yeah, it would definitely end up being in Philadelphia.
Denim chicken.
Because he doesn't like to leave Philadelphia.
I would probably have to bash some rats with him as part of the initiation or whatever. And a lot of alcohol would be involved.
Yeah.
And I assume he's with me.
Yeah, no. They're planning a vacation. They're going with you on this vacation.
And who was the other one?
Borat.
I feel like I would end up in, well, it could go either way. If it's in America, I'd probably end up in a rodeo, and then he would somehow throw it where he makes some kind of slur or he says something bad about America, but I end up being the one getting punished for it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could go the other way and he brings me to Kazakhstan and I just get killed. I think
I would rather Borat plan my next vacation because both of them.
I mean, you would have a cool road trip with Borat.
Yeah, I think Borat.
But he would just have you do a lot of stupid shit.
I think both of them would end up with some emotional scarring.
Yeah.
But I think Charlie...
And I assume the film crew would be with Borat.
Yeah.
It would be...
I would bet that Charlie's vacation would probably be more likely to end with you to end up in the hospital.
Well, yeah, because you'd probably go to the sewer.
Yeah. Or end up with some disease or something like that. So I think I would let Borat plan my vacation.
I feel like you would wake up somewhere.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could happen with Borat as well.
Probably, but Borat would take you all sorts of fun places.
But
Charlie would probably just take you to the sewers.
He would be a good mixed bag because, one moment you're about to get killed by a gang, but the next maybe you're making fun of one of those big mega churches.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Sometimes Borat has fun.
Or maybe you're doing an interview with Democrat, what's his name? The one that sent pictures of his... privates. Cuomo. Is it Cuomo? No, it's not Cuomo.
No.
I can't remember. But, that kind of stuff. Political stuff. Like, maybe you end up at a Trump rally and, I don't know, there's all kinds of shenanigans that would happen.
I think there'd be more
But it could be
dangerous,
though.
I think both would be dangerous.
Charlie, at least, it's a little less, it's still random, but we've seen the show. So we know the kind of things he does.
But you'd probably end up with
You could end up in his room eating grilled Charlies.
Yeah, that'd be best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you end up with hantavirus.
And
Like,
he would probably get you to eat cat food before you go to sleep. But Borat, I feel like he would like drop you into a football field with no clothes and maybe a knife. Like, and not an empty football field, have you? A high school game is playing. You know, that kind of stuff. I think there would be more socially embarrassing things with Borat. With Charlie, it would be more contained. It would be gross. Like, you would be in an alleyway with a bunch of homeless men and like 80 cats. You know,
Yeah.
Frank might pull his gun out at some point. I assume he's there.
yeah, of course.
He's always
yeah,
there.
Frank would probably
The
be
gruesome
around.
twosome.
Yeah. No, I think I would still go with Borat because while he might take you on this wild adventure, and there might be some crazy situations that you definitely wouldn't want to be in. I think Charlie, you're more likely to end up with like legitimately in the hospital for not just injuries, like you might catch a disease or something like that, and you wouldn't have a cool story.
But
to
Charlie
tell
would
him.
have cool stuff though, like getting a cat out of the wall, or like, or maybe you just end up drinking a bunch at the bar. It could go any way.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Charlie merely for the fact that it really is random. That we could just end up just drinking in the bar all day, just getting plastered.
His vacation might just be drinking.
We might wake up in an alleyway surrounded by 80 cats, and then there's homeless men doing it in a corner, and then Frank pulls his gun out and shoots a whore. I don't.
But I mean, think about this.
Boiled denim.
Think about this though. Best case scenario with Charlie, you end up just drinking in the bar, but you go into Patty's pub with Charlie. You're not gonna not get roped into some scheme.
Yeah, and since you're new,
And
you're just
suddenly-
a random person,
Suddenly, you're not just dealing with Charlie.
you do run the risk
You're
of getting
dealing with
dentist.
yeah. You're suddenly not dealing with Charlie,
And he's
but you're
practically
also
a serial killer.
yeah.
So
You're suddenly not just dealing with Charlie, but you're dealing with Frank and Dennis and Mac and D as well.
But I feel like even though I was new, like a stranger, if I made fun of D once, they would be all over me. Like, I feel like if at that point, then I could just be like their best friend. If I just kept making fun of D, or maybe they would think I'm stealing their thunder, and they would end up dropping me off by the docks or some shit.
Anytime you feel in danger, just call D.
But does the gang have to be in? True. I mean, every time they're about to do some shit, I'd be like, D's a bird. And then they would all laugh.
then you can escape.
Yeah. So, well, I think if it's just Charlie shenanigans.
Yeah, I specifically chose Charlie, not the gang. But the likelihood that the gang would end up involved is pretty high. But not guaranteed.
Like I said with Borat, though, you could end up like waking up and
in Kazakhstan.
yeah, you could wake up in Kazakhstan, or you could wake up in Washington D.C. with just like a strap on, or I don't know.
And you end up participating in the Capitol insurrection.
There would be a lot more like big
Yeah.
public events, or you might end up staying at a QAnon house for a couple weeks.
Or Borat would actually plan a nice vacation for you. He is capable of that. It's just like he tends to get into trouble, but he would at least try to get you. He'd get you in a hotel.
I mean, I would have fun like making fun of racists with
He'd
him.
put you in a hotel.
Like,
he'd probably take you out to dinner. Stuff like that. It would just be very unlikely that you'd be chased down the street.
By the way,
by a bunch of.
We've covered Borat a while ago, like a year ago at this point. Very nice Borat episode, or whatever we call it.
Yeah.
Let's check that out. But with Borat, it would be fun, like going to a dinner at one. Remember when he went to like the catering thing,
Yeah.
like the southern, like really racist, and then he had the prostitute. I mean, come over. I mean, there would be fun. I do think Borat would be slightly more contained. Just remembering this is meta, but it is a documentary. There is cameramen there. And with
Borat
the Always Sunny universe, it's not a documentary.
No.
It's supposed to be real.
And also, Borat would be probably, I think, more likely to listen to you.
Yeah.
Versus Charlie, and especially if the rest of the gang got in on it. When you started to, if you start to say I'm not cool with this, they would probably end up kidnapping you.
Yeah. But I could say Dee's a bird. And probably get out of it.
And then they would all laugh and you'd
Yeah. They'd be like, this new guy's really funny. But Dee would hate me then at that point. But she's used to it.
Yeah,
She wouldn't
yeah,
do anything
yeah.
about it.
She'd be like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
don't
yeah,
know.
I guess I'll have to go with Borat.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit more controlled. But not much. I mean, it would still be... I mean, I would tell some good stories, I guess, at that point. But I want to end up with a disease. Well, there's less of a chance of that happening, at least. Yeah, I'm trying to think of one for our podcast.
That was the last one I had for our podcast.
Would you... Okay. I'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, I'm looking through this list. Ew. So these are some bad ones. But I think some of these are a little too much. Oh God. I don't know what this really means, so I'm gonna ask about it.
Okay.
Would you rather eat your flakes uncontrollably?
What?
Would you rather eat your flakes uncontrollably
Okay.
or pee a little every time you stand up? I don't know what the flakes is. Is that like your dandruff? Is that frosted flakes?
I think it's definitely not Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. I don't think, well,
It
it is vague enough where it could be, but it probably isn't. It says eat your flakes. And then pee a little every time you stand up.
Pee a little every time I stand up.
Depends how you define a little. If it's like just a trickle, fine.
Also, it'd be
You could get an adult
it'd be
diaper.
embarrassing, but yeah, you could wear a diaper.
Yeah, but it would be embarrassing.
You could also just avoid standing up whenever you can. Be one of those people that rolls the office chair around everywhere.
Some of these just don't make sense.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay, yeah.
Would you rather be a stormtrooper or a red shirt?
Okay, I'm gonna pick Stormtrooper because at least you
Okay.
get to shoot your blasters and be in a little action. And it depends what show or movie you're in. 'Cause sometimes Stormtroopers are more badass.
Yeah.
Other times they're bonking their head on the ceiling.
But red shirts are not evil.
I'm not Storm. Look at Bill Burr. He was a Stormtrooper. I mean, he's an asshole, but he's not evil.
Yeah.
They're just, they're just doing what they're told.
I think I'd rather be a red shirt.
I'd be a Stormtrooper because maybe I could get a cool arc. Well, actually, that would be a joke. An arc like Finn, which was completed in the first movie,
Yeah.
and he had nothing to do.
It was completed in the first movie, and then the only thing they did with him after that is now he's force sensitive. And somehow, like by the last movie, he's a lot wiser.
That's
Like,
a good movie, right?
he
Rise
go-
of Skywalker.
Oh,
Isn't that?
It's the best Star Trek movie.
Yeah. Oh,
By the
God.
last movie, he's suddenly like super wise, but he went through no character arc to make him that made him wise.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you try to make the ultimate sacrifice for the rebellion, some chick you met just like a couple days ago comes in and tells you that we beat him by loving or whatever.
That's just a bad movie.
Well, that comes from Last Jedi,
Yeah.
which actually is my favorite one of that trilogy now.
Yeah. So like,
I do really love Force Awakens because it's like non-offensive.
Force
really,
Awakens it's kind of a shame because Force Awakens introduced some characters and ideas that could have been really cool.
Yeah.
And then they just didn't play out any of them. And Last Jedi I can nitpick it a bit, but it overall has a lot of stuff I liked. But Rise of Skywalker was just bad. I have nothing really good to say about Rise of Skywalker, except for I guess it was cool that they gave Wedge Antilles a cameo.
Right, yeah.
But that's not really like a compliment to the movie. That was just I liked that, I guess.
I guess I kind of have. Okay, if you are a stormtrooper, would you rather be one of the stormtroopers that was on the moon of Endor, the forest moon of Endor, with all the Ewoks after the Death Star was destroyed, which most likely means you were cannibalized by the Ewoks
or destroyed by the debris of the Death Star?
Well, I was gonna say just be on a Death Star when it was destroyed.
Oh, yeah. Well, because if you're on Endor when the Death Star was destroyed, likely
the debris could get you.
Well, actually, the likelihood is that the moon of Endor was mostly destroyed.
True.
At least that side.
But it wasn't because
realistically,
that was never shown in the movie.
Realistically, it would have been mostly destroyed, like just absolute havoc on that side of the moon.
Yeah.
I'd rather be on the first Death Star. Quick.
The incident,
yeah. Okay.
I mean, I didn't say that you would be cannibalized by Ewoks. I just said it would most likely.
Here's one. I found it. This one's. I'm on to online ones now.
Okay.
Would you rather have a ketchup dispensing belly button or a pencil sharpening nostrils?
Oh, pencil sharpening nostrils. I mean, I don't use pencils that much, but you just stick it in there.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
And I feel like it could have other applications.
Maybe, yeah.
Although,
but what if you start?
Is it like mechanical, or is it just like magic nostrils?
I think. Just
Are you a cyborg?
I think just magic nostrils.
And with the ketchup dispenser belly button, no, that's gross.
Well, no, it'd be regular,
run it from
clean ketchup coming out, but it would just be weird that it's coming out of your belly button.
Yeah, I
think I go with the pencil.
I would have stains on my shirt all the time. It would be really.
I think
weird.
I go with the pencil sharpening nostrils. That'd be such a cool party trick.
I love this. I don't even know what list you have here, but it's great.
That would be just a cool party trick to sharpen a pencil on your nose.
I quickly looked at a Marvel one, and
okay.
The first question. Actually, that's a stupid question, but here's the first one: would you rather? No, not join. Would you rather be saved by the Avengers or saved by the Guardians of the Galaxy? Avengers. Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like
the Avengers are nicer.
They'd fuck around too much.
Yeah.
Or you would. I mean, I know it says you're saved.
They'd save you, and then they'd probably like make fun of you afterwards or something.
Yeah, or like Avengers, they would come in, clean house.
They'd clean house. Captain America would be like, "Good job, citizen."
And that would fulfill my life.
And then you'd feel good about yourself.
I would feel good, but yeah. I mean, Stark might say something snarky.
Yeah, but then Captain America would be like, "Don't listen to him. You did great. Captain America's got your back, bro." And then you'd feel like, "Oh, you'd feel so good." But then the Guardians of the Galaxy would come in and
plus you might just be left on some random planet.
Yeah,
Avengers usually are on Earth.
They might just leave you on some random planet, or like they'd come in and save you, and then Rocket would be like, "You're still using those headphones,
right?" Yeah,
and then Chris Pratt would or Star-Lord would be like, "Don't make fun of him, Rocket, for those headphones."
And then,
but then he'd make fun of your music choice.
And then you would accidentally run into Drax because you don't see him because he's moving too slow.
Yeah, and then he would like threaten to kill you.
Yeah.
And then Gamora would be like, Drax would be like, if I had not seen you, I could have crushed you with my, crushed you to death. And Gamora would be like, don't listen to Drax. He wouldn't have crushed you to death. He would have accidentally, stabbed you.
Like, imagine if you imagine if you accidentally like touch Gamora's ass, you would have a knife to your throat.
It'd just be one of those situations where, like,
in fact, you would be in danger.
It'd be one of those situations where they're not trying.
Groot would be cool.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, but it'd be one of those situations where they're not trying to be mean. They just kind of are.
Yeah.
But like at the very least, the Avengers would be like, at the even if Tony made some snark comments and some of them were kind of standoffish, at least Captain America would be there to cheer you up a bit.
I mean, yeah. And then you have like Thor. He would well, it depends which version. If it's funny Thor or pre Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I would totally want to hang out with
Bro Thor.
Yeah, if it's Bro Thor.
Yeah. Bro Thor would go drink some beer with you. He wouldn't have any with
you. Would have an after party.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel like with Avengers, you're more likely to have an after party.
Yeah, they would take you out to eat or something. Bro Thor, he probably wouldn't have any beer on him. He'd probably ask you to go buy the beer.
Even though he could probably spawn it with the Bifrost.
Yeah, but he would definitely hang out with you and drink the beer with you, though.
Yeah. But I feel like you would still end up in a bad situation either way. But I would pick the Avengers.
Yeah,
just for Captain America giving you a
he just
pat on the back.
He'd give you a pat on the back and be like, "Good job, buddy."
And that would fulfill my life.
He would definitely call you buddy because he doesn't know your name, and he's not going to bother learning your name. But he's at least being nice and supportive.
Here's a BuzzFeed one.
Okay.
I don't know why you actually have to do the quiz. I guess to see like what you. But that's stupid. I'm not going to actually click on them. But oh, I've seen this one before. Would you rather always feel like you're about to sneeze but you can't, or have the hiccups for the rest of your life? Those are both awful feelings.
Yeah, I think I'd rather feel like I'm about to sneeze.
Yeah, but there's something so...
I think you'd get used to it, though.
I think it would be easy. Well, fuck. The
hiccups is such a roller coaster. Like, you're fine 1 second, and then you're not the next second.
But I do have hiccups often.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would... I feel like that could actually hinder your life. Feeling like how to sneeze, because you're not actually sneezing all the time. You just feel like you need to.
Yeah.
I feel like you could mitigate that with some good cold medicine or something. Hiccups, there's nothing to... The only way to not have hiccups is to get whatever's out of your windpipe. There's not medicine that I know of for hiccups. Yeah. It probably is. But always having them implies, well, you can't get rid of it if you always have them. If you always feel like you have to have a sneeze, that's the right choice.
Okay.
That was very anticlimactic, though.
Would you rather be a guard in Whiterun or in Riften?
Gut instinct says Whiterun.
But that's also where all this shit always goes down.
True. But Riften, you might actually be in with the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, but you also have to deal with the Thieves Guild. And Maven Blackbriar.
Yeah, I feel like Whiterun's much more simple.
It's simpler, but I think I would actually rather go with Riften. Because, you have to deal with the Thieves Guild, and there's been some bullshit stuff going on, but, Whiterun's where all the shit goes down.
You're more likely to get killed at Whiterun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Riften wouldn't be great, but if you played the game properly, if you played by the rules of the town, you'd be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be in Skyrim, the world, for real, in the game?
Yeah.
And you have to go through the events of it. Or just live in it.
Just live in it during all that shit.
High chance of mortality.
Yeah.
Or, another one of our favorites, would you rather be in Red Dead Redemption 2? But not just the Old West. Red Dead. Like maybe you're living in Valentine as the story plays out. So the chances of you walking around and then drunk Arthur showing up and just shooting you or insulting you are pretty high, honestly.
Like
you're not the protagonist.
Yeah, you're imagining,
you're
but there's
a normal
still
person.
a player
There's
playing as
still-
the protagonist.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you are an
Oh.
NPC.
So you're saying, would I rather be an NPC in Skyrim or in Red Dead?
Yeah, I guess the question was modified. Slightly.
Okay, because if you're talking about like the just the settings, I would say
Well, and if I asked you if you would rather be the protagonist in either, I feel like Skyrim, because you end up being like a god.
yeah. And in Red Dead 2, you just
die.
get tuberculosis and you
Yeah.
die. I think I'd rather Skyrim because honestly, even if it was just the worlds and not an NPC in the game, I would rather live in a fantasy world than in the Old West.
Than just the Old West.
Because the Old West, you could just get tuberculosis and die. And in the
you
fantasy
could just
world,
die in just
there might be
much more
werewolves.
normal, sad ways.
Yeah, there might be werewolves and vampires and dragons, but there's at least also magic.
True.
And you won't get tuberculosis and die.
Well, yeah, yeah.
From that.
Potion of cure all disease.
Yeah.
You're more likely to be maimed by a werewolf or killed by a random bandit or a dragon.
Yeah, and
Like-
that's a little bit cooler. And that's something that you can... I feel like it's easier to avoid
But
getting
it would be
killed by...
easier to adjust to the Old West.
But I feel like it'd be easier to avoid
You're
getting
still in
killed.
America. Well, you're in the Rockstar version. Of
I feel like it'd be easier to avoid getting killed by a bandit because you could stay in the big
Just-
city.
yeah, if you
and,
just
and-
stay
and
and-
you could use you can get in good terms with the Jarl and stuff. Versus tuberculosis, it's a disease. You don't see it. You can't just avoid it. In the Old West, you don't know you've caught tuberculosis until it's too
Okay,
late.
we choose Skyrim.
I would choose Skyrim.
Okay.
I would much rather
Would
live
you-
in Skyrim than I would
Would you
in the
rather
Old West.
live in Skyrim, Magic Fantasy World, or live in Cyberpunk 2077? The game.
Oh, the game.
And I must specify that the Skyrim one was the game.
Yeah. Probably Cyberpunk, because it's so glitchy that the player probably couldn't do anything to me.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, the player would probably just quit at that point.
Yeah, it's quit.
But then you're living in a glitchy, weird future.
yeah,
Like you'd be
But
driving your car and then all of a sudden you just get shot up into space. Or you no clip.
so
Or-
I suppose that'd be fine though.
I think I would rather do Skyrim on that one.
Yeah, I think
But,
I'd go with Cyberpunk on that one. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking through more questions here.
Oh, I got a Middle Earth one.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Would you rather live in the Shire or live in Minas Tirith? Actually, that's not good. We would go for the Shire.
Oh, definitely want to live in the Shire. Like, it'd be so
Okay,
it'd be
okay.
great.
Oh, here's one. Would you rather be an elf? Actually, you would just pick elf. Okay, none of those are good. I can't really think of one that wouldn't be obvious with that. Unless I... Okay. Here's something interesting. Would you rather die like Boromir died?
Okay.
Shot with multiple arrows, but you do kill a lot of work, so it's
Yeah,
epic.
It's super epic, yeah.
Or... Who else important? Oh, die like Theramir died. What was his name? His dad.
Oh,
The
the steward.
steward of Minas Tirith.
Definitely like Boromir.
You want to go careening off a massive tower
On fire.
on fire
No, that sounds awful.
and insane
That sounds absolutely awful.
during a big war?
Yeah,
You wouldn't want that?
That sounds really bad. I would definitely want to go like Boromir.
Okay, would you would
okay,
you rather die like that cave troll
Mhm.
or the Witch King, stabbed in the face and imploded? Or the cave troll stabbed by an elf? I mean, shot in the head by an elf and attacked by a bunch of hobbits.
Wait, which cave troll? The one in
The one in
So you're not
Fellowship of the Ring.
You're not talking about the ones in the Hobbit that get turned to stone.
No, because
Okay.
I would definitely pick that. But being attacked by a bunch of hobbits and then shot in the head with an arrow, whatnot,
Yeah.
all kinds of shenanigans. get stabbed, be a weird being, and then die and implode.
I'd rather be a weird being that dies and implodes. How about this? Okay, here's one for you.
Okay.
Would you rather only get to eat once every 3 days, but you get
Is that elven bread?
No. You get to eat only once every 2 or 3 days, but it's salted pork that is particularly good. Or you can eat every day, but it's lembas bread.
I feel like you wouldn't need to eat every day with lembas bread.
One bite feeds a man for a whole day.
Yeah. Small piece.
Yeah.
But
that's all you get. You get to eat every day, but all you get is
salted
lembas
pork
bread.
would also get old, especially every 3 days.
Yeah, but it's better than lembas bread. Lembas bread is based off of hardtack. In real life,
Right.
hardtack is like nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, there's recipes.
Is that bread that churches have?
Hardtack is bread that sailors in military used. It's likely what lembas bread is based off. It's basically just flour and water that's baked into really, really dry, hard biscuits.
Oh, yeah.
There's recipes online for lembas bread that uses like honey and makes it more palatable, but it's based off of hardtack.
But can I do add-ons?
No. This is what you get. You can eat every day, but you only get lembas bread, or you have to wait a couple days to eat, but you get salted pork.
But the only thing I can eat is salted pork.
Yeah.
And I have to wait.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I think I would go the lembas bread. I think I'd rather be sustained.
Either of them would be really bad, though, and let me explain.
Yeah.
Your nutrition would be horrible.
Ignoring
with lembas
that.
well, I'm not ignoring it.
Okay.
With lembas bread, you'd only be eating carbs. And I feel like you could gain a lot of weight that way quickly if you ate too much. Because the Hobbit, remember, Merry and Pippin ate like 3 of them each.
Yeah, but one bite sustains a man.
Well, yeah, if you were smart about it,
Yeah. Because it's magical.
And salted pork would also not be good for your health.
No, but you're not eating it a whole lot.
True.
But it'd be a lot tastier than lembas bread.
It would be tastier, but it would be potentially... That's a lot of sodium. Just saying.
True, I guess.
And that would also get old. And you would get pretty hungry, and then you would get to eat it again.
Yeah.
Lembas bread, it'd be boring, but you would always be...
You'd always be full.
You would always be full. You would always be sustained.
I think I'd go with lembas bread.
It'd be really boring, but yeah.
Yeah. I think you'd get used to not having exciting food.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what the elves do anyways. They'll have lembas bread and like some salad.
Well, the elves eat good food. They just... lembas bread is just what
I bet they have great house salad at Rivendell. You know?
Not all the elves eat is salad. They also eat meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of the Rivendell elves. I remember when the dwarves went there.
That's just in the movie.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So would you? Here's my timer, which probably means we should be wrapping up. But let's get a couple more out there.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Would you rather smell like poop and not know it, or constantly smell poop that no one else can smell?
It's a pretty good one.
Well, the smelling like poop and not knowing it would be more embarrassing. At least you don't have to smell it, and you don't know it, and that implies that no one's telling you about it.
I would rather smell poop that no one else can smell.
I'd rather smell like poop and not know it because it's not affecting me. Well, it kind of is because people won't want to be around me.
No one want to be around you, yeah.
But I wouldn't be smelling it, and I wouldn't know.
I think I'd get used to the smell.
No,
eventually.
You wouldn't. You would not.
Yeah.
There's something about poop smell. It's not good. But then again, it's smelling like it and not knowing it would ruin your social life. Like you would go to an
Yeah.
interview, a job interview, or go to class.
I
and,
think
like,
smelling like poop and not knowing it would ruin your life more
true.
than being able to smell poop,
I mean,
but no one else can.
that would suck. But like every time you eat, you would smell poop. Every time, anything. And I feel like it's the kind of thing that you might be able to cover it up temporarily, but it's always a thing.
I've got one more good question here.
Okay.
Who would you rather play you in a movie? Danny DeVito or Danny Trejo?
Oh, we're going with the Dannies. Danny Trejo, I feel like my life story would be depicted in a machete style movie.
Yeah.
And he's playing me.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he want to get killed or like
No, yeah, he's
it would be cool. It'd be rad, man.
yeah.
And Danny DeVito, I feel like that could go a multitude of ways. But maybe he's in a movie of Arnold Schwarzenegger again. Or it doesn't have to be always sunny. It's
I think I would rather Danny Trejo play me in a movie. That sounds pretty rad.
Mm.
And I would like to have a movie about me where Danny Trejo plays me and it's just a rad Danny Trejo movie.
True.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, they're both older.
or just imagine like it's not even a rad movie. It's not even a rad movie. It's just like a movie that's like
It's like a biopic.
biopic and you're just like in class
Very mediocre.
and it's a bunch of other college students and then Danny Trejo.
Everything else about the movie's normal.
Yeah, everything
But
else
it's
about
Danny
the movie
Trejo
is
plays it.
exactly like your real life, but
And
then
he
it's just Danny
Does not
Trejo.
try to be like you. Or
Yeah, no, it's Danny Trejo.
I would love it.
Acting how Danny Trejo normally acts.
I guess I would go Danny Trejo, but I have another
Yeah.
question. And This
Okay.
definitely relates to our podcast. In fact, I'll ask the same question, just with different actors. Would you rather have him be portrayed by Willem Dafoe or Alfred Molina?
Oh, but character actor Willem Dafoe or character actor
Actor.
Alfred Molina.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really hard one.
I feel like Alfred Molina would play you a little bit more closer to the chest, a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah.
You'd probably have a bowl cut.
probably.
Or he doesn't always. Or you might die in the beginning of Indiana Jones. But I feel like it'd be straightforward. Willem Dafoe, he would depict you as a lunatic.
I would want.
But that would be fun.
I think I would want Willem Dafoe to portray me. I think it'd be fun. Yeah. Yeah, I
But-
think that'd be fun.
I picture Alfred Molina and the opposite casting choice, it's a buddy cop style.
Okay.
So Alfred Molina, and maybe like throw in, shake it up, throw in like Mark Wahlberg or like Ryan
Oh.
Reynolds.
Oh.
But if it's just
Some
him,
good old Marky Mark.
if he's the only notable star in the movie, I mean, Willem Dafoe would be fun.
I mean, okay, so imagine this.
And they both always looked old. Like,
Yeah. Well, imagine.
especially Willem Dafoe. I love that they didn't show his face in the trailer, but I heard he had slight or he might have slight de-aging, but he
Yeah.
doesn't really need it because he's
just-
always looked the same.
He's always just looked like Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Imagine a movie. Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina.
playing us. It's about the Odd Drunk podcast.
It's about the Odd Drunk podcast. and it's a movie. It's like a buddy cop movie,
Of course.
and it's where they go on a road trip.
Yeah, we have to go on a road trip to record.
And they're going
It's
on a
kind of
road
like
trip.
the Between Two Ferns movie.
Yeah,
We have to do a bunch of episodes.
But then they accidentally as they're driving their car down the road on this road trip, they make a wrong turn and they end up in Area 51 and they see some shit they weren't supposed to see. So now they have to run away from the CIA because the CIA wants to make sure that that they won't talk. So they're running
Well,
from the CIA.
I have a win-win situation.
And Ryan Reynolds is the head agent who's tracking them down.
And he's full Ryan Reynolds.
And he's just full Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds. Just
Have you seen Red Notice?
no.
It's a fun action movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of buddy cop with Ryan Reynolds and
Nice.
The Rock.
And so is Ryan Reynolds. He's the head CIA agent tracking them down. But luckily,
Can The Rock also be in it?
The Rock can also be. He's Ryan Reynolds' partner.
Okay.
It's Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. They're the CIA agents tracking them down, and Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe. So they're running from them, and it seems like they're gonna get caught. But then they run into a cool British guy who's like behind the law and knows how to hide them. Guess who it is?
Michael Caine.
No,
No?
it's Simon Pegg.
Okay.
And Simon Pegg.
Can we throw Michael Caine in there?
Yeah, he can be in there at some point. We'll stop at a diner and it'll be like, oh, the waiter is Michael Caine.
And can Morgan Freeman be the narrator?
Yeah, he's the narrator. But it's kind of like how in Glorious Bastards, where there's Samuel Jackson narrates just in only one scene in the middle of the movie. Be like that.
Okay.
Be like one scene in the middle of the movie where there's a flashback for one of the characters, and Morgan Freeman narrates it, but he's not in the rest of the movie. Yeah, and then they solve their it turns out
I can solve our problem.
And then it turns out it was all just a misunderstanding, and then they go and record an episode of the Odd Drunk Podcast. Yeah.
Do we get a cameo in it?
Yeah, of course we get a cameo.
Okay.
Let's say like we can get a cameo like where
we get shot by Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. Yeah, so
in a really dumb way.
It'd be a cameo where
like maybe we're in like a drug bus.
Well, it'd be a cameo where Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe, they stop.
Or do we play the young versions of our?
Well, no, I'm thinking so.
Or we're just random people.
Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe, they stop at a gas station as they're running, and but then Ryan Reynolds and The Rock catch up with them.
Oh, so Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are together.
Yeah, they're together. They're
Is this Red Notice 2?
I don't know.
The Odd Drunk Podcast?
Yeah, I guess.
Featuring?
And so they catch up to us or to them at the gas station. And as they're inside the gas station choosing out like their flavor of Slim Jim that they want, they see the CIA cars pull up and they're like, oh shit, we need to go. But then, unbeknownst to them, there was a gas leak at the gas station that causes an explosion. But Ryan Reynolds and The Rock think that they caused the explosion. They don't know it was an accident. So they think that Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina caused the explosion. So they think they're in danger. So they start shooting. And as they're shooting, a couple of bystanders get shot in the process. And it's you and me.
Great.
Yeah.
So we solved our predicament. I love the script. I would love
Yes.
to see it written out. And I would love to get it produced.
Ryan Reynolds, if you're listening.
Yeah. Alfred Molina.
Email us, message us on Facebook.
Yeah.
We're interested.
We won't have a budget. We
Yeah.
won't have funding.
Yeah, there's
unless you choose to do so, or have one of Ryan Reynolds. I use Mint Mobile, Ryan Reynolds. I do use that.
Yeah.
It's a good cheap service, and I think you owe me one. But anyways, I think that solves our problem, though.
Yeah.
You are portrayed by Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
I'm Alfred Molina.
Yeah. I'm
I think
okay
it's
with
obvious.
that. Yeah.
And I want him to play me as Doc Ock, but before he got the arms, when he's just talking about
Yeah.
it's a future version of us.
Yeah.
So things could change.
Yeah. And Willem Dafoe should just play me how Willem Dafoe deems it necessary.
Yeah. Which is probably really crazy.
I trust his judgment on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other questions you have? I think I'm out of good questions for the night.
I mean, I have the list here, but I can't really think of any of my own right now.
All right.
But we got to do at least one more.
Yeah, let's do one more, and then we'll close out for the night.
There was this list I encountered while searching that had deep would you rather questions,
like philosophical deep.
I assume so. But it could really go in either way. A lot of these are really bad.
Well, like deep, like if there was a trolley on the rails, and there was 5 people tied to the rails, and the trolley's going to run over them.
No, it's ocean-related questions.
But you could flip a switch and change the trolley to a different direction, save those 5 people, but there's one person on the other rail that would die. Which one would you rather do?
I just came up with
let the 5
one.
people die, or flip the switch and cause the one person to die?
I came up with part of one. Actually, see if you can
So
help me come
that's
up
the
with
trolley question.
See if you can help me come up with the other
Okay.
option.
Okay.
So my first option, so would you rather always speak like you're doing a podcast to everybody, which I already feel like I'm doing a little bit.
Always speak in question form.
Are we? Like just
Like always speak like you're asking a question.
So always speak like you're doing a podcast, or always speak like you're asking a question.
Yes. I'd rather always speak like I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, people would think I'm a pretentious asshole.
Yeah, it'd be weird. But
And before
people
you,
would understand what I'm saying.
So-
like,
before any conversation, you're speaking like this podcast. So you say, "Welcome to the Odd Drunk Podcast. I'm here with my girlfriend, and she's cooking currently.
yeah,
Any
It'd be,
like it has to be
it'd
like
be super weird.
it's not that you're just like speaking in the podcast
No, but
tone
you're
and like
like
you trying to use
It's like you're recording a
the
podcast.
radio voice,
Yeah, every conversation is a mini podcast,
and you have
and you have to make
the
it
equipment with you. Maybe
It'd be weird as hell.
you always have a tape
I
recorder.
feel like the speaking like you were asking a question all the time would cause some misunderstanding.
Yeah, imagine you're in class and you have just a comment, and you're like, I really like this assignment.
Well, no, I mean,
Or it
imagine.
always has to be.
Actually,
Is it just
like,
the tone of a question,
imagine if you were pulled over by
or is
police.
it always questions?
Well, it's
That's what I'm wondering. Do you always have to ask questions, or does it just sound?
it sounds like you're asking a question.
Okay.
So like imagine I mean, I feel like it caused some misunderstanding, some bad ones. Like imagine if you're pulled over by a police officer, and he'd be like, "Have you been drinking tonight?" And you'd be like, "No." There's no way he would believe that.
Okay, so you choose the podcast one on that one, but I
Yeah.
want to do one more involving the question one.
Okay.
So would you always speak in like a question, or would you rather always speak like you're doing slam poetry?
Slam
I
poetry.
went to the park and I found I sat on a bench. So
Slam poetry, definitely slam poetry. again,
so bad.
again, the same idea. It'd be weird as hell, but there would be less misunderstandings than the question one.
I mean, it would still ruin your life
Yeah,
because everyone would think you're
really fucking weird.
really weird, like
Out of
hipster.
your mind, yeah.
But I mean, I imagine even if you don't do well, you could be pretty popular at like your local coffee shops because you always speak that way.
Yeah.
So it comes naturally.
You'd be very good at slam
It's like,
poetry.
I record the podcast, but it wasn't my last. And yesterday I ate a pie, but it did not jive. Like kind of,
Yeah,
and it doesn't always have to be like rhymes.
But does it mean that
but
you're
it
like
has to be like
you're pretty good at rhyming though?
maybe, but
Even unintentionally, you're just like rhyming all the time.
okay.
Now, would you rather speak like a slam poetry
Mm-hmm.
or speak like Dr. Seuss? So, like the slam poetry, you don't have to rhyme all the time. It's
Dr. Seuss, you're always
just
right.
have that
energy, like
you just have that tempo, that energy. But Dr.
and
Seuss,
every fucking day when I think about this thing,
Yeah.
I feel that feeling, and it could be like the emotional.
yeah, but
Oh God,
but
that would still be bad.
or you could talk like, or you'd have to talk like Dr. Seuss every day, where you don't have to have that energy, but you would be like weirdly rhyming all the time.
So okay, like for instance, so on the podcast, be like, I gotta go. Hey Colton, yesterday I ate scrambled eggs and then I pambled some dags. Like, you could use silly words.
Yeah. You definitely you'd be using made up words.
And I feel like in this scenario, you would just have to speak that way, but it wouldn't come naturally. So you would have to use a lot of silly, weird words because it would be hard to rhyme with everything.
It would be like
but that fits with Dr.
You'd be
Seuss.
speaking naturally, but you would naturally be using silly nonsense words all the time. Yeah.
It's like I was doing homework, and then I got my bone work, and then
exactly, you got it. Yeah.
and a man told me, "Don't swim there, son." And I was like, "Be there, pun." I don't know. Squiggly wiggly green eggs and ham.
Yeah. It'd be just like weird filler sentences and filler words and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. These are more closely related, so I'm going back to the slam poetry. Would you rather always speak like slam poetry, or always speak like a stand-up comedian building up to a joke? So not jokes all the time, but building up to it.
Yeah.
And like telling your story and trying to sound interesting all the time.
I'd rather speak like the comedian building up to a joke.
But you never capitalize on it.
Yeah.
You never.
No, never capitalize.
You're never
on
funny.
It. Never funny.
You're in fact,
I just always sound like I'm getting ready to tell a story or a joke.
But it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And I feel like what would have to go along with that is like no one's impressed.
Yeah.
Because for one, it never goes anywhere. And two, people would just get really annoyed because they would think you're always trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
But you never end up making one.
But would they be more annoyed? Would they be more annoyed with thinking that I'm about to make a joke, or more annoyed with me speaking like I'm doing slam poetry? I think I'd be able to get away.
I record podcasts, and it's the odd drunk ass. I don't know. I can't. I don't do slam poetry, as you can tell.
Well, slam poetry, you don't always have to rhyme.
It doesn't always have to rhyme.
It can be free.
It's kind of like free form, like but it's got to have that kind of not rhythm to it, because it could be just like just emotionally driven.
There's an energy to
like
it that's like
I've been to like open mics where someone comes up, does poetry, it's free form, and it's just like about their everyday struggles.
Yeah,
or, you know,
it's got this energy to it, like,
but it seems pretentious.
Like coffee shop or like NPR, like, yeah.
Okay, I have one more.
Okay, last one.
Would you rather live at a bar, like J-Bo's, for instance?
Like live at a bar? Do I have a private space, or just the bar is the space that
you practically, you wake up, you go to the bar, and so you're always at the bar. You just have to be. You don't necessarily go to sleep there, but often you do. But you're always at a bar.
You're just always there.
Or you can go along your day, but every day for 3 hours. So it's not nearly as long.
Yeah.
But every day for 3 hours, you sit at a Starbucks with a MacBook Pro and listen to Ed Sheeran. That was straight off the top of my head. It's the best I could come up with. It's only 3 hours out of your day, but you have to do it at some point. And coffee shops are only open so long.
Yeah.
So you can't like get your day done and then just do it in the middle of the night.
But at the bar, if I'm living at the bar, I wouldn't be able to get much anything done ever.
True.
And
okay, let me adjust.
And I don't actually absolutely hate Ed Sheeran. I don't think
but that's every day.
I don't think he's that bad.
3 hours a day, and at a Starbucks, I said.
Yeah.
And you're forced to use a MacBook Pro. What you're doing on it? You're probably just figuring out how to get it.
Playing video games.
Nope. You're not doing that.
You can't do that on
If
a
anything,
MacBook.
you could be messing around with GarageBand, but at a coffee shop, no one's going to stand for that.
Yeah.
Most likely, you're probably doing homework or taking notes, or maybe watching Netflix while listening to Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
You're always listening to Ed Sheeran. Sharon?
So, yeah. I think I would do the sports Starbucks one.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I need to adjust
fun.
that question.
Doesn't sound fun, but
Okay. Would you rather be forced to use only Apple products for everything?
even like my toothbrushes.
If they have it, you have to use it.
Okay, if it exists,
It extends to Apple TV, like that's the only streaming service you can use.
Okay.
Or not be able to use any technology besides like a TV, but like no internet shit.
Just cable. I would rather use only Apple products because like I don't like Apple, but not being able to have a smartphone in today's day and age would be pretty detrimental.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's hard to come up with these, honestly, because there's always an option that's better. But unless you got anything else, I mean, I've got stuff here, but everyone's heard these. Oh, would you rather step on Legos or drink boiling water? Everyone's heard these.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they could say that same, like, you're only allowed to use Apple products. Or you can use any product you want.
Okay.
Except for your phone has to be a Microsoft phone.
Oh, and they have bad phones.
They're like really bad phones.
Yeah.
So you're only allowed to use Apple products, but Apple typically makes pretty good products.
No, they honestly do.
But
I mean, you'll be limited.
But you're
stuff.
stuck into just using Apple stuff.
Yeah.
Or your phone has to be one of those shitty Microsoft.
I'll take
Windows
the bad phone
phone.
over that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can still have my laptop.
Yeah.
And I can still watch. I don't have to just watch Ted Lasso on Apple TV. I can watch other things. Because I heard that's like one of the only good things they have.
I've heard that's pretty good.
I heard that it's good.
Yeah.
Oh.
My mom kept during that entire run of that show, my mom kept calling me being like, "Have you watched Ted Lasso yet?" Yeah, and I kept being like, "I don't have fucking Apple TV, Mom."
Right.
I keep telling you this. All right. That was a fun episode. Unless there's any last questions you have, which I don't have any last questions.
Would you rather?
Okay.
Would you rather follow the Odd Drunk Podcast on Instagram or give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts? You answer that question by doing those things.
Yeah, it's you won't know
This
which
is
one
for
you'd
you,
rather
the
do.
listeners.
You won't know which one you'd rather do until you've tried both.
Well, no, they still have to only do one.
No,
We're not making them do both.
They should do both. It's a trick question.
A lot of
Trick
these
question.
Okay, we'll see you
Deceiver.
later. Oh, by the way, we don't have anything pre-recorded or planned for next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be gone for Thanksgiving break, so we're gonna take a break for next week.
No episode next week, but we'll be back. Episode number 70.
Yes, number 70.
2 weeks from now, the week after Thanksgiving.
And
yeah.
That will give us a good refresher, and I'm sure we will have something great for you guys. But as you know, if you've been listening for a while, we kind of just play by ear here.
Yeah.
Something comes up, we'll do it. If we have something planned, we'll do it. Hopefully, we'll have something more proper, more of a classic episode.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens, because honestly, we are about to enter. Well, we are in finals territory pretty much.
Yeah.
So, we might have a couple more looser episodes, but who knows? That's what's fun with I would say.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. We could interview a bear one day.
We could. Probably not,
Probably not.
but it is certainly possible.
It might just be Colton on one.
Yeah, maybe one of these days I will just read one.
I mean, you could do that.
I'll read one of these books to you.
I mean, I know we have Zoom and everything, but you could read a book for next week's episode.
On the third U.S. demand that elements of a purged National Guard be preserved and brought into the government, no compromise was possible. Nicaraguans hated the. I'll just read one of my books to you.
I do like the idea of.
I'll just go into the middle of a book, and not even like a fiction book, like a history book, where there's no context of what I'm talking about.
You just start randomly.
And just randomly in the
really
middle of the
boring.
book read for like an hour.
Yeah. I do like the idea of
I won't even tell you what book it is.
If one of us can't make it to an episode, but we absolutely have to do one. And I mean, I'll leave it up to you if you want to do anything over your break.
Probably won't.
Probably won't.
Yeah.
But I love the idea, in all seriousness, like one of us just, if we have to, just like reading a Lovecraft story.
Oh yeah.
Or doing yeah, I don't know. But we're not switching up the formula anytime soon.
Yeah.
But we will see you the next time we have an episode, probably the first week of December.
Yeah, that would be the first week of December.
But stick with us, and we will stick with you. We always will.
Yeah.
Our gracious listeners.
We love you.
Let's not get weird. Let's end this episode.
It got weird a long time ago.
Okay.
All right.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends that you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To view all of our current available streaming and social media platforms, visit our Linktree in the description below. If you enjoy the show, it would be appreciated if you leave us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. Okay, Colton, you can roll the outro now.